Forgive me. I'm a little sick. I'm a little under the weather. It's nothing too crazy. It's a little cold, a little light, nothing too wild. But I'm going to talk about Cloak and Dagger season 2 episode 4. This is Rabbit Hole. So I'm not going to get too deep into it, so that way I can give myself a little bit of time to recover. Like I said, I'm not extremely sick. I usually get a little sick due to the weather changing and fluctuation. New York City, our weather is by all means bipolar. But before I get into any of that, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel and your opinions and theories about these episodes. And without further ado, let's kind of jump into it. So the description that we have for Thursday is Rabbit Hole, obviously, for season 2 episode 4. And basically the description we get is still on her quest to find out more about the sex trafficking ring. Tandy takes a dangerous trip to find Mayhem, who may have the answer she needs. Tyrone's past actions catch up to him and put Adina in harm's way. So like I usually do for any breakdown, let's kind of do this by section. So the first part of this is still on her quest to find out more about the sex trafficking ring. Tandy takes a dangerous trip to find Mayhem. So if you haven't seen the season 2 episode 4 sneak peek of the Rabbit Hole that's going to be coming out this Thursday, what we see is that Tandy is actually making a trip inside of Cloak's dark dimension, or the Darkforce dimension. So basically we're going to get at least a little bit of an experience in terms of what it's like being in this area. Now I did explain this in other videos previously regarding Cloak's abilities and what the Darkforce is like. It's relatively a cold place, but it seems like it may not be as cold there. But one thing it seems like they're very consistent in is like you do experience some form of illusions, or you start to see things, but depending on what it is and to what extent, we really don't know yet in terms of how they're going to present it in the TV show. But we do know for a fact, obviously, it's a dimension of pure darkness, and we still don't know in terms of what they're going to do and how they're going to explain his powers. If they're going to say like he's tapping into the dark force, or they're going to use that as a more mystical aspect, we'll find that out later on in the series. But as of right now, this is all we know. But one thing we just know for a fact is that she is diving into his dark force dimension, and right now she's going to be surrounded by darkness, even though she has the ability to exude this light, which actually makes her the safest person in there at the moment right now. Now what makes this really interesting is that they're not even really saying whether or not Tandy is gonna rescue Mayhem, because in reality she is very dangerous in herself. She is not really the O'Reilly that they know, even though she kind of is. Even though the regular Detective O'Reilly and Mayhem are two sides of the same coin, there's still a debate on whether or not they're going to save her, because remember, she's an extremist. Even though her moral compass allows her to still use her abilities, her strength, and even her razor sharp nails, or whatever you want to call it, to actually help find these girls in the sex trafficking ring and deal with people who are dealing drugs on the street, she is still doing it really heavy-handed. So she's killing everybody on sight. If you don't have the information she needs, she's gonna kill you. If she feels like you deserve it, she's gonna kill you. She's basically every aspect of aggression that O'Reilly has suppressed over the course of her entire life. So it's not really clear if Tandy's gonna actually take her out of the dark force or not. We're not really sure. Maybe she'll get the information that she needs and leave, or maybe she'll bring her out with her. But one thing we just don't know for sure is that there is a possibility that she might be staying in there at least for an extended period of time, until I guess she somehow redeems herself, or unless the plot demands it for whatever reason that they might cause for a little later. Now let's get to the second part of this little description they gave us. Tyrone's past actions catch up to him to put Adina in harm's way. So to answer the question, for those of you who probably still are struggling with names, because sometimes I do struggle with names as well, Adina is the name of his mother. Tyrone's mother is named Adina Johnson. That's her character, that's who she is. So Tyrone's past actions. So what we know so far that he's been doing up in season 2 on episode 4 is that he's been occasionally checking up on his mom, his father, and basically just checking up on people who have been kind of just a part of his life, who he cares about, I guess naturally, just to make sure that they're safe, even though he was supposed to run away extremely far away. Now here's the kicker. Now even though he's checking on these people, even though he has the ability to teleport or whatever the case may be, I still feel like either because he's checking on them, or because it's just simply what he did in season 1 when he consumed Detective Connors, it was just one of those situations where his mother might be threatened, or she's being kind of used. And when I say used, someone sees an opportunity where she works for the government. I believe she's a congresswoman, but I think I'm a little wrong about the job, but she does work for the government. She has a high power position in what she does. And I believe when she made that vote in the last episode regarding the whole investigation of the missing girls, it is in relation to her and the fact that she said no to reopen the investigations, because the people who are pulling the strings are manipulating her in order for them to get her what she wants, wants, which is in reality to get her son Tyrone back home. And I think that's going to be what's going to happen in going into season 5, where he's going to have the choice to either free his name, or, you know, get his reputation back, but it's going to come at a price. Either they're going to have basically his mother in their pocket and they're able to do whatever they wish with her in terms of whatever they need to kind of go away, they'll use her for, or he'll have the option to stay and run away and do the right thing and still be able to kind of be a vigilante and correct the wrongs that's been going on in the city. But I do know it has absolutely to do with that voting, and kind of someone is manipulating her, and we saw that in the last episode for sure. But this is just kind of a breakdown what we see going on so far. Let me know your predictions or any suggestions or whatever you may feel about the Cloak and Dagger as a whole, season 2, or the upcoming episode, or the last episode. But if you're new to the channel, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe. Like I said, leave a comment. I love all that stuff, and I hope to see you later on. Peace out.